foundation, the peak, iconic. A few words used to describe Iron Man, which some have said is probably one of the best, if not the most important films in the last 20 years. This is a retrospective review with Doomsday in mind, Easter eggs and cool details, and how we think it will lead into Doomsday. So let's inspect the film that is Iron Man. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're doing well, Swan and Dandy. Welcome to the Media Mandem. We are having a retrospective look at the film that is Iron Man. Hope you're doing all right, keeping safe and behaving. Here with me is Junior.
Hello.
Yep, we keep making this joke. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we do speak. Let's get over that. We're gonna go straight into these different aspects of Iron Man, which the film came out in 2008. So at the time of us making this, that makes it 18 years old. Am I correct? 18 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 years old. So Iron Man can legally do all sorts of things now. Drive, drink, get married. You know, Iron Man's an adult now. It's done its thing, which is crazy to think that it's 18 years old. But anyways, so let's start off with a quick summary of the film. So, what is the film? Iron Man is basically about a billionaire who has lots of money. Then he gets into issues. Then he has to Iron Man his way out. He builds Iron Man's suit famously from a box of scraps. He makes that, then he leaves. Then a bold guy's kind of angry that he left, but he won't really tell him. And then there's another bold guy who he has to beat up to get out. Then when he's outside, he's like, "Oh, I should probably do good things." Makes Iron Man suits. It's quite funny. Bold guy's like, "Hey, why don't you give me over your stuff?" He's like, "Can't do that." Then Iron Man develops a personality, and then Bold Guy nearly takes him out. Then Bold Guy makes his own Iron Man suit, Ironmonger. There's a lot of bold guys in this. And then at the end, it's Iron Man versus Bold Guy, and Iron Man wins. So at the end of the day, this is an anti-bold film. That's basically what the message of this film is. So what did you like about this film, Junior?
A lot of things. I think Robert Downey Jr.'s performance was really good. I think Jeff Bridges was a very good choice as a villain. He's a very talented actor in regards to being funny, but he's also very good at playing characters with a lot of a character. So it was definitely kind of obvious that Marvel and the studios that were involved were kind of figuring things out. They didn't quite know what was going to be uh, coming, essentially, but it works. I think that works in its favor because it feels like a film that's very open to new ideas and new concepts and new ways of doing things in terms of the superhero genre. And yeah, I think for the beginning of what became this massive cinematic universe, it was definitely a good start. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was interesting. Found the action scenes really well done. I think the pacing is quite good. Yeah, don't really. I mean, I could start picking it apart, but that's just like I can't be bothered to do that, so I won't. But yeah, overall, I really liked it.
Did you think Iron Man would you think it would be as big as it is now at the time?
No, I think that only really started sinking in when more MCU stuff started happening. I think the moment I realized Iron Man was like a thing was when the Marvel comic book started featuring him more heavily again, and it was like, oh, like he's actually like important again. Like, remember this guy? Like, and then when the MCU began to be referenced in the Marvel comics, I was like, yeah, okay, he's made it now. Like, this is it now. So Yeah, I think that's when it started dawning. But that wasn't until at least Iron Man 2, I think. But by that point, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I think anyone who says, "Oh yeah, I thought it was going to be this big cinematic universe," is actually smoking some sort of substance. Because I don't know anyone. I remember seeing it at Cineworld. This is time ago. Cineworld, and yeah, it was good. It was a cool film. The music was cool. The CGI was cool. The character was cool as well. At the time, I outing yourself in terms of his superhero identity was something that you don't usually do. So that was
Hmm.
like, oh, that was cool. And then I don't even think was it added? Was it added after or was it at the time? But I don't even think because obviously post credit scenes and that weren't a thing then. Not like they weren't a thing because they did happen. Because even Transformers had a post credit scene, which came out a year before this. But it it wasn't a thing where it was like, oh, we've got to stay. So I don't even think I saw the Samuel Jackson bit at the end.
Yeah.
So I think the last bit I remember seeing was, oh, I'm Iron Man. Then the whole he start playing they're playing what's it AC/DC and all that and it's like
Yeah.
Iron Maiden whatever and then they played that and that was quite good and yeah the film I enjoyed it was good I wasn't like oh my goodness this is gonna change cinema forever but I was like this is a cool good very good super modernized superhero film because
Hmm.
it's not the other ones were bad, but you had things like Fantastic Four and stuff like that. All of them, to be honest, it's easy to say it now, but at the time, all of them were basically just modern interpretations of the superheroes. Because I wasn't a heavy comic book fan, and Fantastic Four, which Junior's already made a lovely video about, which will be tagged here. But it they were all just yeah, it was just a modern interpretation. I was like, oh, this is like really good. Iron Man, I didn't know about him before. Pretty cool, pretty interesting, pretty swell kind of guy. And I thought, yeah, it was quite good. I didn't think it was going to become this big thing, which it did end up becoming in the
Hmm.
end. But I liked the action. I liked the at the time I wanted Rhodey to get an Iron Man suit. I don't know why, but
Hmm.
I was just like, yeah, when he's like next time, maybe. Well, he never did. But it was like that was really cool. That would have been interesting to have seen that as well. Also thinking about it, just small things like seeing how for Iron Man it took him long to learn how to fly. So it wasn't he just popped in the Iron Man armor, even though he did technically well, he survived. Um, Going out in the Iron Man suit, the first one, Mark One, he didn't actually really fly it. Technically, he was in the air. He was airborne for a bit, and then he survived the landing. But him having to learn to fly and all those sort of things made you feel like you're going on a journey with him, which I thought
Hmm.
was quite good. So, is there anything you disliked about the film?
I mean, I'd have to start like really nitpicking to really be. Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of superhero films suffer from this similar thing with pacing and with certain narrative points that seem to kind of, oh, this is going to be important, and then it's like it's either not, or it's like it's never seen again, or it's never brought up again, or it's kind of like just brought to the. It had that in it, but all superhero films have that. But it almost feels like it's by design. But
Mm.
yeah, I'm not gonna say, oh, basically got to start going deep into all why. Nah, it was. I just enjoyed it. Yeah, a lot of things that you said, I agree with. So, yeah, I don't really have any negatives. I really want to just add. So,
Yeah, I'd say so. There's not when you think of Iron Man for me, I'm not like, oh yeah, this bit was so much. It's just like you said, nitpick. So you'd be, oh yeah, like it would have been nice if Brody got in the suit. And to be honest, I feel like that's about it really. Everything
yeah,
else is just like, like that was like that. There was funny bits like when he said when Brody was being like, "Oh, we need to be formal," and then it cut to the next bit where the hostesses are dancing on the plane, and this man's
mm,
completely drunk, and he's like, "Yeah, man," the music in the background, and it's like, yeah, Tony's a Tony's a bad influence. And yeah,
He's
the
like,
story was good. Happy was good, and the CGI was good. I think this Iron Man 2 and the Avengers and Avengers Endgame is the best that Iron Man suit looks in the MCU.
hmm.
I think I think those, was it three films? So this, Iron Man 2, Avengers, and Endgame. Yeah, those four films, that's the peak of Iron Man in MCU. It looks very tangible as well. Did you also know a fun fact, which is, I'm gonna keep saying this. The CGI in this was inspired by the first Transformers film.
How? What do you mean by inspired by?
So they didn't know if they were going to be able to make it look um, good, but being able to see the CGI in Transformers, they saw that it was more tangible, and also as well they focused on making it a lot more realistic than initially they were going to. So even though a lot of it, apparently, I've seen some videos say that it wasn't all they built practical suits, but because of the weight, they couldn't use them. But with the
Mm,
CGI and the lighting and stuff like that, one scene where Iron Man's flying up, and I think it's the Mark II, the Mark II when he's flying up, and when it gets frosted over. Before that
mm,
bit, apparently they wanted to light it up because his suit is silver against a black background, and it's quite
mm,
difficult unless you have like unnatural lighting. But I don't know if it was the head of like the photography director of photography or John Favreau, but one of them said that it needs to be natural. So the only
mm,
light in this scene can be from the sky or from below.
mm,
Whereas they didn't want to make it look artificial. So
mm.
those sort of things came because they saw how realistic the Transformers looked, and they were like, well, if we can have space aliens that transform into different things look realistic. We can get a man in an iron look realistic, and I thought it
Yeah.
was quite good. I mean that, and then the first scene in the Mark III, I think was pretty good when he goes to fight in that sort of Middle Eastern country. I thought that looked really, really good.
Mm. You mean the part where he blows up the tank and then walks away?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that scene more or less became iconic for that entire film. Really, or Iron Man as an MCU character kind of
Mm,
encapsulates what he was like at that time in his character arc. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's a point I didn't know, the Transformers thing, but I think at the same time, you'd be unwise to see something like that and not try to draw some inspiration or some kind of, yeah, knowledge and wisdom from it if it worked. You're trying to do something similar. It's wise to look at what's worked before and, yeah, if it works, try to use it or utilize what they've put forth to help your thing look better. And yeah, if that's what they did, it certainly worked because, yeah, I think I preferred Iron Man's suits when they were more like me- actual metal as opposed to like the nano machines because it looks cool, but it takes away that a lot of that cool kind of effect that you see where like you hear it making the noise and then like it's like being put together as he's assembling it as he's standing in
mm,
it and stuff. But yeah, it still looks cool. Like in Infinity War, he presses the arc reactor in his jacket and it like zooms in on him or sucks in on him, and then it kind of just builds the. That's cool, but it's not as cool as hearing the metallic sounds and all of that cool stuff. But beggars can't be choosers, and it would make sense that he wouldn't keep using those kinds of suits. If he's a futurist, he would be trying to use whatever's out there that's more efficient, more efficient. I think would be the word for him. So it, from a story point of view, it actually makes sense that his suits changed. But yeah,
yeah, and apparently also as well, what does he do again? Every time this is going into the future now, but every time he sees a threat or he sees something, he develops. So, for
yeah,
example, once he saw
he's
what the
adaptable. Yeah.
Wakandans did, then he was like, "Yeah, I gotta get that nanotech in the suit and all of that." So
Absolutely.
he he adapted, and the same thing with what's it when Thanos gave him that tasty beating. He was like, yeah, probably should upgrade the suit because the nanomites, I nearly died that time, which would have been really awkward. So he's like, yeah, probably should maybe make sure this doesn't happen again. So yeah,
Yeah, kind of
um,
person Tony Stark is. So yeah, it makes sense.
do you think I this could be technically an easy thing to answer, but do you think this film has a legacy outside of off the screen? So what do you think its legacy is?
I mean, it the MCU is its legacy.
Mm,
The entire universe hangs on the success of that first film. If that
mm,
film didn't do well, there wouldn't be an MCU. Because
mm,
if that film didn't do well, and then Incredible Hulk did, and then Thor didn't do well, they'd have been like, yeah, anyway, so we're just gonna move on. It's like it kind of worked, but it didn't. But like it's because Iron Man worked, they were like, oh, actually, we can make a film like Thor, and people
mm,
might actually go and watch it.
mm,
We can make a film like Captain America, and people might actually go and watch it. Because at the time, Marvel couldn't bank on Spider-Man because that was Sony's rights, if you will, to make that. So they were like,
mm,
we've got to bank on these characters that people might know if they read comics, but outside of that, don't really know. And we're going with this guy, and it could work, and it really worked. So yeah, definitely, I'd say Iron Man 1 also bankrolled Iron Man 2. And if, yeah, okay, arguably, if Iron Man 2, I don't think it's the best in the trilogy. Iron Man 1 is. I think it sadly, yeah, anyway, let's not go into that. But Iron Man 1 helped, yeah, the sequels for the Iron Man films and then the other MCU films to take place as well. So, yeah, I'd say it's got quite a big legacy behind it, if you will, or quite a
mm.
lot of lineage that runs or stems from it. So, yeah.
Okay. And then what do you think this film, because obviously Downey Jr. is back for to be Doom himself. So what do you think the ties from this film will actually be to Doomsday? Do you think they'll make any references, any like actual callbacks? Not just like well, it might be just a random word, but do you think there's going to be anything substantial linked to Doomsday?
I think it'd be foolish not
Mm,
to not have some sort of link to have it. But I doubt he'll be Tony Stark, but to at least not have him reference the fact that he's like, oh, in this universe, there was a Tony Stark who looked like him or whatever. Or it's like, oh, even other characters who are from the MCU's universe to see him and be like, oh, but you look like, isn't that Tony? Like, isn't that you? And he's like, bro, that guy, man, like Doom, and that still. Yeah, it would be foolish to not have any kind of thing like that in there at all,
mm,
because it helps people who have been away from the MCU for a while to connect back in, and also for them
mm,
to easily understand that it's the same actor, but he's portraying a different person.
mm,
Because despite what you'd hope is common sense, it's not very common. People wouldn't. A lot of people are going to make that mistake and be like, "Oh, it's Tony Stark. Didn't he die in Endgame?" And it's like it's him, but it's also not him. And they're like, "Oh, but like it is
mm.
because like it's the same character in it, like, and it's not." So yeah, I think it would be a good idea. I think even if they had Tony Stark, no, have Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, reference to the other actors who have also played Doom. I think that would be quite cool. But they probably
Mm,
won't do that. But that would be quite cool. Um, yeah, because it would make it quite interesting. Certainly, since he's been already traveling through different universes, if you have him go to all those the other Fantastic Four universes, and he's like taking out all these other Doctor Dooms, is like, yeah, it can only be one. Only me, bro, only me. That's something a very Doctor Doom esque thing.
mm,
Um, but we'll see. I hope that they do lean quite heavily into that kind of characterization of Doom and how he's like that. I think it will also help to see Robert Downey Jr. have a completely different um not repertoire, but a completely different approach to what he's been in the MCU as well. He's always obviously been like top tier superhero guy, so seeing him as the villain now, I think will be quite nice in terms of just how diverse of an actor he actually is. And yeah,
Mm.
I think it should be good.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think, yeah, in terms of ties to Doomsday, what do I think it will be? Ties to Doomsday. Yeah, Downey Jr., I think will be a tie to it as well. I don't know if Happy's even going to be in it. Pepper Potts
Mm,
has disappeared completely. You'd be interested in probably not Doomsday, but Secret Wars if you had Jeff Bridges. You get, well, I don't know what their budget is like, but you get Jeff Bridges as an Ironmonger, as like in an alter. This is what they should have done in a multiverse thing. I'm not going to get into that too much here, but it would have been cool if it's like, no, in this universe, like Ironmonger actually was the hero and Iron Man was the villain.
mm,
Um, or you just have a variant of Tony that has the Ironmonger outfit, and it's like Jeff Bridges' character. They teamed up. Obadiah Stane. They teamed
mm,
up, and he helped Iron Man build that. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I think they have to reference the original Iron Man in some way. There's the bare minimum it's going to be about Downey Jr. But I think they can. I don't know what they'll retrospectively change in terms of being like, actually, this is this. You could do something where it's in the multiverse. The Downey Jr. that is Doom, he was the one that made sure they got ambushed or something.
mm, mm,
You could do something like that. I'm guessing that's set off the events, or he influenced you know or you could say that he's made changes. So he was the one that recast Rhodey, and then he's got like that would be really cool if he had like he's got a lot of the people who were being recast in the MCU, and he's just
mm,
taking them out of the timeline, and they're on his side. That would be very cool if we had like a Dark Avengers almost sort of thing of the people who've been recast. So you have a Maestro Hulk, you have a different War Machine and stuff like that. I think
mm,
that would be very cool, and you made them really powerful and sent them after the Avengers. I think that would be really, really cool. But I don't think they will do that because of budget, and then they're falling out with some people as well, and
mm,
things like that. But I think that would be pretty cool. That would be a nice, interesting callback to yeah, and they're like the henchmen of Doom, but not. Or you make it here's a plot twist. You actually make them actual friends of Doom. Like, yes, usually villains they have servants, but make these people not just like followers, they're actually friends with him. And then that would
mm,
make it even better in terms of he's a bad guy, but they have friendships. So it's a case where they're more loyal to him than followers would be because they're like, we're actually friends and they're like, we're fighting the good cause or whatever. So that's just me
mm.
spitballing random ideas, but that would be interesting in terms of ties to Doomsday. So let us know what you think, what you feel, how your Doom is daying, and also as well about Iron Man. Do you like it? What's your thoughts on the film? What's your ratings of the film? Let us know, and we will speak to you later. Thank you very much, Junior,
Thank you.
and we will speak to you in a jiffy. Toodles.